All right, well, we can go ahead and get started. Again, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to hop on to our webinar. By way of introduction, my name is Tudu. I'm an account executive over at Verkada. I've been working here for a little over a year now, and I'm super excited to be presenting for you guys today. I also have Amy Bateman here with me. She comes from the Data Networks team, which you guys may be familiar with, and she's going to speak here in just a moment. But yeah, essentially just for a quick agenda, obviously today we're going to be looking at our security platform over here at Verkada, how we're leveraging the cloud, artificial intelligence, tons of cool features and modern technology to make sure that your buildings are as secure as possible and that they're as easy to manage as possible. So for an agenda, a more formal agenda, we're going to go through what the Data Networks team actually offers, and Amy will be covering that. Then we'll talk a little bit about Verkada, us as a company, where we started, where we're at right now, and where we're going in the future. Then I'll take you through the actual platform itself, show you what it looks like to use the tech, and then we'll do some Q&A at the end. So as we're going through this, you should have the ability to view the chat and the actual Q&A section. Feel free to drop any questions in there. I'll probably save them for the end. But obviously, this being a formal webinar, we just went ahead and muted everybody so that we didn't run into any issues with background noise. But drop any questions in there. I'll be keeping an eye on it, and we'll go through all of that at the end. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. Amy, if you want to go ahead and take it away, let's hear about Data Networks.
Perfect. Great. Thanks, Tudo. Appreciate the introduction. And thanks for everybody that joined the call. I do see some familiar names, so really appreciate your attendance and look forward to your feedback from today's webinar. And for most of you, I believe you know a little bit about Data Networks, but we've been in business for over 40 years and are really focused on the Mid-Atlantic region. However, we have started to expand across the country, which has been very exciting. And our initial inception as a company was focused around state and local government, higher ed, and K through 12. And we've recently, over the past 5 to 10 years, also worked with many commercial organizations and nonprofits throughout the region. If you can hit the next slide for me. Kind of some of the key things is really our methodology around how we like to design and deliver solutions is first focusing on assessment and really understanding what your needs are in your environment. And then after a full assessment is then focusing on a design. And once we all agree on a design is implementation and management. Some of the kind of core competencies, as you can see, I'm not going to read off of the slides, but some key things that as of late that we've added to our core competency list would obviously be cloud services, because as we all know, we're seeing most folks moving from on-prem to the cloud, as well as key features around cybersecurity. So if any of those things interest you beyond the conversations today, please don't hesitate. You're certainly welcome to reach out to me directly. We do have other sales representatives that cover vertical areas. So we have Jan Solhavy, who covers all our higher ed, state and local, and healthcare organizations. I cover K through 12, and we have John Malden, who covers all commercial entities. So again, really appreciate everybody joining today, and I feel comfortable that you will learn something. Please ask questions. We'd like this to be interactive. Thanks again. Tudo, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jan. Or excuse me, Amy. So thanks again for joining us. Obviously, you may have been offered one of these Yeti Ramblers. If you would like the Rambler, we'll have a survey at the end. You probably already have access to that survey, excuse me. So go ahead and fill that out once we get finished. Give the Rambler a few weeks or the Tumbler a few weeks to get delivered to you. We'll make sure it gets out. Okay, so a little bit about Verkada. We are the fastest growing physical security company in the world. We're based out in San Mateo, California. That's actually where I'm located right now. And we are backed by a strong team of investors, Meritech, Sequoia, Siemens. These guys have backed the likes of Airbnb, Apple, Google, Facebook, a lot of really popular companies that, are household names these days. And that's kind of the same direction we see ourselves going in. So we were founded a little over, actually, it's coming up on 6 years now. We're about to hit our 6-year mark by a group of Stanford and MIT computer scientists, as well as the former founder of Meraki. Their goal was to modernize enterprise security, the way that buildings are managed, by making an integrated platform, essentially an operating system for your entire building. And to do this, they have been coming up with several different product lines that all communicate with one another to make your building as smart as possible. Some of those product lines, just to cover them quickly, include access control, environmental sensors, cameras, guest management, alarms, and our latest product line is actually our mailroom management service. And it all integrates into one, like I mentioned, so you can use them in a lot of fancy ways. Today, we'll probably more so be focusing on the video surveillance aspect, but after the webinar here, we'd be happy to reach out to you, schedule a more personalized demo, and go through any of these product lines in more detail. So here's what the old traditional architecture kind of looks like. It is, traditionally based on an NVR or a DVR. Those devices are what actually store the footage themselves. They store that footage locally. And you can see here, there are a lot of moving parts. You're connecting those cameras to a switch, connecting that to your NVR. So you have to actually view that footage locally. Or, some products have become a little more savvy and found ways to get you that information remotely, mobilely. The issue there is, that typically can open you up to a lot of cybersecurity threats, especially with those older models. They're not as secure as possible. There are a lot of holes in the system. So we wanted to simplify the whole thing and make sure that it was as secure as possible. So we moved to a hybrid cloud infrastructure. Essentially what that looks like is, with our cameras, the footage is actually stored on the cameras themselves, on the devices. Then you can access it through the cloud on any device, any personal device, your phone, laptop, tablet, whatever it may be. So a few key benefits here. What we wanted to make sure we were doing was making our products easy to use, easy to scale, and easy to install. It only takes a matter of minutes to plug in one of our cameras. They operate over, Ethernet cable. So once you plug in that Ethernet cable, you should be pretty much good to go. And then they're easy to scale as well. As you can see, it's really easy to plug those in. So when you continue to add more and more cameras, it doesn't have to be in one deployment that's all connected to an NVR or DVR. You can seamlessly add more cameras and connect them to your platform online. And then we have all sorts of functionalities, making it super easy and a very, easy user experience once you get into the command platform itself. Additionally, the cameras are extremely bandwidth friendly. They operate at only 20 kilobits per second, and that's them streaming footage to you. So they're extremely bandwidth friendly. They won't bog down your network, and all that storage, that footage is stored on the camera, so it's easy for you to access. Here's a list of some of the customers that we're currently working with today. You can see some popular names here, the University of Maryland, the YMCA, a lot of common names that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. And then on a more local scale, I personally cover Maryland and the DC area. So here are some of the schools, cities that I'm working with. We also have tons of reps on the more private side that are working with more commercial entities. And then we're working with schools and commercial enterprises throughout the entire country. So our reach has grown quite a bit. There are a lot of organizations really trusting in our platform. And I think a big part of that is the ability for our products to adapt. They're never stagnant. They're always updating, always upgrading. We actually push out automatic firmware and software updates to all of our products. So, essentially the products you're buying from us are future-proof. So something we can actually do with our platform is share out live links. I'll show you how this works in a little bit, but if you would like to just test the capabilities, maybe take a photo of this phone number here, a screenshot, whatever you need to do, and you can text this number later on and get that live link so you can see how it works. And then lastly, we do have a free trial program that we're offering right now. So it's a great opportunity for you to get an actual camera plug it in to your building and see what it looks like. You know, we'll kind of put our money where our mouth is here and let you see that the camera actually works as well as we say it does. So at the end, you know, when you're going through that survey, I think there's a checkbox, something you fill out where you mention that you're interested there. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the actual demo itself. So here is Command. It's we're getting some rare footage here. It's a bit of a cloudy, rainy day in San Mateo, which only happens maybe 10 times a year. But this is what it looks like. You know, you have all of your product lines laid out very neatly at the top here, so you can easily manage them all. You can see that you can break down your cameras into various different sites. So you can go through here and see, you know, different locations of a building, or it could be different buildings all together, all on one site. So to show you what that capability can really do, you can see for us, Verkada, our own platform, we have multiple offices around the world. We have one down in Sydney, one in London, and then if we zoom into the US, you can see we have a few in the States, and you can see all of these different buildings are connected onto our single platform. We call it a single pane of glass, the ability to use all these different product lines in different buildings all on one platform. So let's go ahead and zoom into the San Mateo office where I am right now, and we can see the cameras that we have online. We can view the status of each of these cameras. As we can see, all of ours are green, which means they're functioning properly. They're recording footage and sending it up to the cloud. If they were yellow, that would mean that they had gone offline. So when a camera does go offline, you actually get sent a proactive notification. This way, you're never running into a situation where a camera goes offline, and then it isn't until you actually need to go pull that footage that someone realizes it. You can attend to that ahead of time, so you know that your cameras are always capturing what you put them in place to capture. If you do have issues with your camera, we have this support chat that is available most hours of the day. You can jump in here, reach out to our support team. They can solve about 95% of issues over the air, and they'll get back to you in a matter of minutes and help you with any of your problems. Additionally, if there is an actual hardware issue with the device, we actually have a 10-year warranty on all of our products. So that's an industry-leading warranty. Very few companies can match that. And, you know, it gives you the ability to have the peace of mind and know that for an entire decade, you don't have to worry about your cameras. They're backed by this warranty. I should also mention here that the cameras themselves have built-in accelerometers. So if someone tries to mess with one of your cameras, tamper it, take it down, break it, spray paint it, cover it up, whatever it may be, the cameras can detect all of these different things and will actually send you a notification letting you know that someone is tampering with one of your cameras. So let's actually jump into one of our camera views and look at how easy it is to find, save, and share footage, because obviously that's the crux of what we actually put cameras in place for. So as you can see, you can find footage in the most traditional sense. If you know exactly when something happened, you could go to the calendar, go back to a specific date and time and find exactly, find the footage that happened at that exact time. Or we have several other ways to find footage. So what you can see down here is the footage is broken up into several thumbnails. We can break up these thumbnails into smaller chunks, such as 1 hour chunks. And then on these clips, we can turn on heat maps so we can actually see where motion was detected in any of these given clips. So you can quickly start to narrow down your search on when an event may have happened. Let's say there was an incident of vandalism and you had a camera that captured it, but you didn't know when it happened. This would kind of give you a good idea of when motion was taking place where that vandalism occurred. One of the greatest tools on our platform is actually our motion plotting. So what we can do here is highlight a frame of reference on the camera, and then it'll show us every single time motion was detected in that frame of reference. And we can even filter out for people what we're usually concerned about and narrow down that search even more, greatly reducing incident resolution times. Some other ways we can find footage are using the AI analytics to actually identify people and faces. So right here, it's capturing different people. Here it's capturing faces, and I can search for people in this way. Additionally, you can actually search for somebody by just uploading a photo. So I can show you that here. I can just drag and drop this handy photo of myself, switch to search all cameras, and then we should be able to see footage of me moving around throughout our facilities. So it's a super easy way to keep tabs on whoever's moving in and out of your building. Something you can actually do is create a profile and then toggle somebody as a person of interest. So if there's someone you're concerned about entering your building or coming on premises or being somewhere they're not supposed to be, you can turn this on and then you can actually get notified if they are detected on camera.
That's super cool. Tudo, I just wanted to check in with you. We did have a question. Would you like to hold those till the end, or should we answer those as we go?
We can take a look at it now since we're paused already. Let's see. So, okay, looks like how long do you provide support for your cameras? Is that support part of the purchase or is it an annual support contract? That's a great question. So support on the cameras is forever. We'll always help you out if you jump into the support chat, as long as you have, access to command and, you're using our cameras. That's a given. We never take that away. As far as the warranty, again, that is a 10-year warranty. Keeps you covered for an entire decade. There is no support contract. I guess I can talk a little bit about the pricing structure. Oh, it looks like an alarm was raised over here. Someone else is probably running a demo right now. But yeah, as far as that works, we essentially just have two line items. There's hardware and then there's the software. So once you pay for the hardware itself, you own it, you're good to go forever. You hold on to that hardware. And then as far as the software goes, that's giving you access to command and all these fancy features and functionalities that we're looking at here. That has varying licensing terms. Our shortest is 1 year and our longest is 10 year. And we can talk about that a little bit some more as we get to the end of the presentation. Okay, so I want to move over to one of our garage views and show you that the same analytics that we're using for people, we can actually do very similar things for vehicles. So what I can do here is actually a vehicle search. I can search for cars based on, the type of vehicle it is, whether it's a car, a truck, or the color of the vehicle as well. So let's say there was a situation where, there was a hit and run scenario. There was a car parked in one of your parking lots and, someone went back out to their car, reported that there was a dent on the car that wasn't there before, and they could tell there was a little bit of blue paint left on the car. You could actually filter out for a vehicle that matched that description and find footage of that vehicle passing by a camera. So then something else we can do, let's say you found the vehicle you're looking for. Let's say we're looking for a blue SUV. We can jump into footage of this car passing by. Should come by in just a moment here. Once it does, we can actually zoom in using our digital zoom function. Looks like that one just passed by there. Not the best example, but if that was the car we were looking for, we could use digital zoom to zoom in. We could pause this footage, try to capture a face, whatever it may be. We could alternatively actually use our license plate recognition cameras. So these cameras have the ability to detect license plates. They'll automatically scan them, and by being paired with a context camera, show you footage of the vehicle with that license plate number passing by. So I could either search for license plates here or just go through the database and try to find the license plate that I'm actually looking for. If you found some relevant footage, whether it was a car in a hit and run situation, maybe it was a stolen vehicle, whatever it may be, you could actually go into full screen, view that footage, and then you can archive it. So we allow you to archive clips of up to 24-hour chunks. These clips will be stored indefinitely, and you can store an unlimited amount of these clips. Once saved, you can go over to the archive pill to actually view this footage. And when you're viewing it, you'll see that it actually populates with a watermark in the top left corner, making that footage admissible in a court of law. So then you can very easily save this footage by downloading it, or you can share it out to anybody you like, either by text or by email, and you can determine how long they actually have access to that footage. Now, something else that's really cool, I know I mentioned this earlier, let's say there was an active situation taking place and you wanted someone to know what was going on in real time. You can actually share out live footage. So you could share out an entire site, or share site here, or you can share a specific camera feed. So in doing so, you can do it in the same way that you saved archive clips. You can share them out by either text or email. You can give access to that live video only, or you can give access to all of the features such as the analytics, face search, people search, motion search, that sort of thing. You can again determine how long people have access to that footage and revoke their access at any point if needed. You can also create a live link for this footage if you wanted to embed it on a website. A cool example of that is we actually have one of our cameras. The city of San Francisco is using one of our cameras at the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's constantly streaming out footage of what the weather looks like around the bridge. So this is kind of just scratching the surface here. We could go deeper. There are tons of events that you can set up here to get instant notifications for different things that they're happening throughout your building. And then obviously this is just cameras. You know, we also have access control, which pairs with our cameras. You can use this tool to see who's scanning in and out, verify that it's actually the right person with the right credentials, and get all sorts of notifications here as well. If a door is held open, forced open, certain things like that. We have our environmental sensors that can detect for all sorts of things, you know, total volatile organic compounds, humidity, temperature, vape. A lot of schools are using this for vape detection in their bathrooms. Our alarms, which pair with our cameras and all of our other devices to, you know, give you access to a monitoring agent who can view your footage, make sure that there's a threat to person or property if an alarm is triggered, so you don't get false alarms, and then notify you of what's going on. Guest management, so you know who's coming in and out of the building, and our mailroom management as well, so you can very easily get packages to the person that they need to get to. So that's a quick overview. Hopefully this was helpful. And please continue to fire away with questions. I see we have one right now in the chat. Let me go ahead and take this. Let's see here. Okay, so this was the question from before. Yeah, we can pause for a second, see if anyone else has questions, and go from there.
Tudu, I wondered if you could provide the text number again, might be great. I don't know if you have that easily accessible to throw into the chat.
Sure thing.
That would be fantastic.
Absolutely. Here's that number if you would like a live link. Okay, and I see someone was asking what happens if someone actually does tamper with one of your cameras and that alert goes off. So essentially what the cameras will begin to do is they will automatically detect that that happens, send you the notification either by text or email. You can set all of that up however you please. Then they will begin bulk uploading footage from the moment that the tampering was detected in reverse order. So they'll take that footage from the device itself and send it up to the cloud. So you can actually catch the perpetrator if they do get your camera off the wall or destroy it. From there, you know, the camera itself, if they were able to get it off the wall, is encrypted with AES 128, you know, on the device itself and AES 256 in the cloud. So the footage is extremely secure. No one's going to be able to access that.
Awesome. And then what about instructions for receiving the demo unit?
Yeah, so for the demo unit, it should be in the survey that you guys all received. I believe you should have been sent out a link to that survey. For that demo unit, there should be something that you can, you know, mark that you would like to give that a shot. Additionally, you know, we'll be reaching out and we can set up personalized demos, like I may have mentioned before, where we can go into more detail on the entire platform. And one of the Verkada reps who works with you will be able to hook you up with one of those products as well. Okay, I see we have another question about the hardware. says hardware is lifetime. Do you update, provide patches, etc.? The software on the camera. So do we update that software? Yes, we do. So within the license that you pay for, built in are automatic firmware and software updates. So the cameras are constantly getting better. They're constantly improving with time as we push out these updates. So from a software perspective, they're never going to be outdated. They're always future proof. About the hardware itself, sometimes our products will reach end of life because we've made a better version. For example, we used to have an older version of our dome cameras, and now we have a newer version. Not that the older versions are bad by any means, but we just want to make sure that we're always be able to push out the latest and greatest. So let's say one of your cameras that was an older version actually breaks down and you still have that warranty on it, that 10-year warranty, we'll actually just send you the closest replacement of the upgraded version. Okay, I'm seeing that survey, Roy, looks like you're having trouble accessing the survey. I'll look into that once this webinar finishes up. If the survey wasn't sent to you guys, I'll reach out to my marketing team and make sure that does get to you. Otherwise, like I said, we'll be reaching out, we'll be in touch, and we'll make sure that we get you, are able to get your hands on one of those trial cameras. Okay, I see we have another question on power outages and the loss of the internet. So if a camera actually, or excuse me, if power is lost within the building where the cameras are set up, what happens? So what essentially happens there is if the power shuts off, there isn't much we can do. But if there is an event where you lose internet connectivity, the cameras continue to record footage. And then that footage, like I said earlier, is stored on the camera itself. So you will be able to access that footage once internet connection is restored. Additionally, there is the ability to do local viewing. So if you're connected to the local area network that the cameras are connected to, you can continue to view that footage even in the event of an internet outage. But yeah, in the event of a power outage itself, if there's no way to power the cameras, unfortunately, they won't be able to record.
While we're waiting for any additional questions, just wanted to again remind you, I threw into the chat the live link. You just type in that number into a text message with your email address, and then you will get a link sent to you. It does take a few moments for the live link to download, so if you could just have some patience there. And it looks like there's a couple other questions coming through.
Yeah, I do see one now. How much memory is on the camera? So the cameras, that's a great question. The cameras actually have varying lengths of retention. The base model is 30 days of retention. For most of our customers, that's plenty of time. Usually you'll receive notice of some situation that you need to attend to within the range of a month. But it can be extended beyond that. We have cameras that have up to 365 days of retention if needed. So that does vary. Additionally, we have an unlimited amount of cloud storage that we can offer you. So if you ever want to go even beyond that, or if you'd rather just have that footage stored in the cloud, we can offer that to you as well.
I also see that Roy has his hand raised. I'm not sure if we can unmute. Oh, no. Yep, still raised, or if we need to ask, Roy, if you have any other questions, do you need him to type that into the chat?
Yeah, I don't know that I can actually unmute you, Roy. If I could, I don't know exactly how to. If you wouldn't mind just typing that in the chat, we'd be happy to get that question answered for you.
Also, again, want to address that we will be sending out the survey, which will have the option for the free trial. I just want to make sure everybody hears that. I see multiple questions on that. So again, super excited that you are interested in the free trial. We'll make sure that we get those surveys out to you.
As well as the mug. I see someone just asked about that. We'll make sure that that gets to you as well. We want to make sure you guys are taken care of. We still have a few minutes in the time we had allotted, so we'll give it just a minute or so here to see if anyone has any more questions. Someone was asking about whether or not the camera could work in a residential environment. They can work in a residence and in a house or an apartment building. We do have some apartment building deployments as far as an individual house goes. I mean, I have a couple of cameras at home that I could plug in if I wanted to. We can do that. You know, it's more of an enterprise grade solution. So for larger buildings, more corporate, or, you know, a large school building, but they would work. There's nothing that stops them from working. Any last minute questions here? Going once? All right. Well, hopefully my presentation was just so thorough that most things were cleared up as I was going through it. Again, just to reiterate, we'll make sure that we get you all the information you need for to get that Yeti tumbler, as well as to get connected with one of our trial products. And we can do trials outside of the cameras as well. You know, if something else got your attention, such as the environmental sensors, or our alarm system. We have tons of wireless sensors that we could also send out to you for a trial. Just keep that in mind and be sure to ask if that's something you're interested in. I do see we have one last minute question here. Amy, you may want to take this one. Will Data Networks will handle installation or just do reselling?
No, we do the installation and the resale. Good question.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll make sure we get you guys connected with all of that. Yeah, and like I said, we'll be in touch and make sure that you have access to your appropriate Verkada rep, as well as, you know, whoever, you know, on the Data Networks team, whether that's Amy or somebody else that you'll be working with, if you're interested in moving forward on a project. But again, thanks so much, everybody, for hopping on. We look forward to being in touch with you. All right, have a great day.